It's going to be a little windy today, out of my control. Today, I got the Vibe here, 2004, same as the Toyota Matrix, and we're going to be changing the idle air control valve. There's a part number for the part I'm using for this, so let's get into it. Alright, now finding the idle air control valve is pretty simple. See where we're at. Throttle body is right here, and here is where the valve plugs in. Computer, the harness. What we're going to do, go ahead and unplug that. I'm going to go ahead and pull the throttle body back. Pull the cable because I'm taking the throttle body completely off to clean it as well while I got this apart. Now the next thing I'm going to do is grab a Phillips here and get the air intake tube out of my way to make working on this just a little bit easier. I'm going to go ahead and take 10mm, loosen off my cover, and pull the tabs back there so I can remove the engine cover. Now with the engine cover removed, you can see why. This hose that runs from the cam cover to here, need to go ahead and remove it to remove the throttle, obviously to remove the throttle body. Now, right here, I'm going to go ahead and unplug the throttle position sensor. There are two hoses on the other end of the idle air control valve on the back side of here with some clamps that you'll need to remove. Now, the position of them, it's hard to see them, and honestly, I'm not sure if I can show you on camera by loosening the throttle body and pulling it off. But they're there. You can probably see one right here, and there's another little clamp right there. It's a little dirty. Need to squeeze those clamps and move them to pull those hoses off. Alright, now I got these two hoses removed, and they do have antifreeze in them, so keep that in mind. I'm using a 10mm to remove the throttle cable bracket out of the way. There are two bolts here on the side of the throttle body that holds it in place. That way we can completely take the throttle body off. Now here where it gets a little bit different. This particular car has a throttle body spacer on it. So for those with factory bolts, use whatever size bolts they are. I don't remember, there are 4 of them. You see I got 4, but mine are different because they came with the throttle body spacer. So it's going to take those 4 bolts out, and then we'll be able to get to the idle air control valve. Okay, so throttle body's off. As you can see, here it is, 3 Phillips screws that hold it in. Now if you feel like you're capable of doing it without taking the throttle body off, try it. You might be able to do it. I just know that this little car, I'll have trouble with it. We're just going to take these 3 screws off, and you will see that there will be an O-ring in there. Should come, new one should come with an O-ring, a special kind of gasket, really. And since this is little, be sure not to lose the screws. and there it pops off. You can see there's a gasket. It'll go in there. So I'm going to go ahead, clean this thing out really good before I put it back on, since I already got it apart. Alright, so now install the new gasket in place. And we'll set the idle air control valve right there. And then we'll tighten down the screws. Now what I'm doing is I'm going to go ahead and get my bolts in there. Just like that. That way, just come right over here. And get them started. And line. Okay, so it's going to be hard to see, but I'm going to have to reconnect these coolant lines back into place. And I'm going to try to turn the clamp where it's going to be easier for me to work with them. Alright, so let's just finish putting everything back together real quick. Throttle cable out of the way. Drop the hose back on. Clamp it back down. Plug throttle position sensor back in. Plug the idle air control valve back in. There we go. I'll save this for later. So I'm just going to move it out of my way. Go ahead, reinstall air intake tube. I thought that was going to be out of my way. Reinstall the throttle cable bracket. Reinstall throttle cable, pulling back on it, sliding the little hammer piece back in, and dropping it. Then we can reinstall the engine cover. There it is. Alright, there it is. Sorry about the wind. Can't help it this time. That's how you change your out-of-the-air control valve on your Pontiac Vibe or Toyota Matrix. Pretty simple, easy, straightforward to do. If you lose a lot of coolant, just make sure fill the system back up and do all that good stuff. Now, I hope this information proved helpful to you. As always, thanks for watching.